All right, Skylar, so you guys are getting a little bit further into spring practice with the new defense and new fed system. So how's it going?
It's been great. We're putting a lot on the kids. We're asking them to be fully committed into what we're asking them to do. This is going to be always a multiple system that puts a lot of stress on our defensive guys to handle multiple formations and motions and calls and coverages and blitzes that they have to do a good job staying committed. And they're doing a great job. We're doing a lot of things. We're installing a lot early on them, kind of fire hose them, as you say, and they're picking it up good. They're getting better and better every day. We're trying to establish an identity, playing fast, playing physical, playing, confident in what we're asking them to do.
What's the base system going to look like?
It's a little bit of everything. Like I said, it's extremely multiple. So we're going to personnel match everyone. Whatever we feel our personnel is best versus the opposing team is what we're going to do. So if you watched us previously at other schools, it's a mix of everything, which is good. It allows us, a lot of multiplicity, a lot of ability to change pictures on quarterbacks. Because at the end of the day, that's what this thing's about. So.
How do you feel like some of these returning guys from last year have adjusted to your system so far?
They're doing great. I mean, they're picking it up. Obviously, the unit has come together really well. They're blending together. Obviously, there's a lot new, there's old, right? There's from different schools, there's from our old school, right? It's a big mix of everything, but they're doing a great job. They've come together really well. They blended. They coach each other. They understand that they can always come up here and get help from a multitude of different people. We're fortunate, obviously, to bring our staff, which speeds up the process and allows us from that standpoint to be able to do that. But they're doing a great job picking it up. There's a lot of guys that have grown in this system they're going to be big time playmakers for us in the fall.
You made a big chunk of those guys from Sam Houston with you. Is that going to be a real conflict for you as you install your system?
It's just like having extra coaches on the field. It's guys that have familiarity, that played snaps within the system. They understand how we want things done. So instead of it just always coming from us, it's also coming from their peers as well, which obviously speeds up the process. They know the expectation. We're not going to change the standard of what we do, and it allows them to have confidence and understand that this is what it takes to be successful on defense.
What aspects of the defense do you feel were most successful last year at Sam Houston? How do you feel, or how are you trying to replicate those this year?
I think we do a lot. We try to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback from a bunch of different ways, from coverage standpoint to blitzes, different disguises fronts. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about putting your players in positions to be successful. So doing that through different ways that we can, from fronts to like I said, coverages, different looks, different personnel packages. We do so much to try and get our best players in situations to be successful.
It's still early, has there been a position that's kind of stood out for you so far?
There's a lot of new, obviously, up front. There's been obviously a big turnover from transitioning from 3-man to 4-man. So there's a large turnover of bodies in that room. And they've done a great job. You got a big group of people from junior college, from transfers, from straight out of high school. I mean, there's so many different people. They've done a really good job picking it up with all the things that we asked them to do. And that group's grown so much just in these first few practices.
You took kind of a unique path into coaching, yeah, with your father, just your path as a player. And did you learn a lot from him as you came up as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, I've been around the football office since I was a little kid. I mean, the football and college football is really all I know. Been able to grow up in it, to see my dad's players obviously move on, and some of them playing in the league, some of them becoming coaches. This is all I know. This is what I've spent my whole life doing. So,
what was the big lesson you took away from?
Just the impact that we're fortunate enough to have on the kids that you're obviously at the time. You get to see, you hear people kind of talk about the 40-year-old version of yourself. I got to witness my dad's, players in college now that are in their 40s and now playing. I've coached now with, I think, 6 of them now that used to actually play for my dad back in the day. Coach Richmond here played for my dad back at Oklahoma State in 1999. So it's just an example of kind of how the process is and how what's great and allows us to give back within the game.
Yeah, you had to give up football early on in your life due to that congenital one in the sternum.
Yep. Essentially, my sternum was encaved. Yep.
And so, I mean, after that, what led you to decide, hey, I still want to pursue this. I still want to make football what I do for?
Just the love of the game. I mean, this is what I've always wanted to do. Obviously, if I could have still been playing, I would have. But knowing that I can still have an impact, I was actually a coach when I was still in high school, so got just transitioned right in. Robert Ingram was my high school head coach, and we've kind of been talking about mentors and things like that. He allowed me to transition to the coaching side really, really early on to kind of get my feet wet before ever even going off to Auburn. So that was nice.
That experience kind of drive you as you have gone through your career, the experience to have your career in a little early playing with?
A little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all about people. The programs are always about the people, your coaching staffs, everybody within it. There's so many people that impact what we do on a 365-day view of everything we do. Really, when from that standpoint, I mean, it's all about this family that you truly have. It's more than just the players on the team, but it's the coaches, it's their families. I've grown up with some of them. Me and Coach Johnson's daughters are the same age, so we've grown up together basically since we were little. There's just a lot of people involved in the process.
You mentioned those people and transfers that came with you from Sam Houston. What do you think kind of made them want to transfer over here with you, and what kind of impact have been in so far?
I think obviously our coaching staff does a great job connecting with our players. You know, like I said, we're not overly, hard on them when unnecessary. You know, we have a really, really good connection with them. We hold them to a high standard. They believe in what we do, but we look at them more than just a jersey number. You know, they're going to come hang out with us. They're going to spend time with our families. We're extremely involved. It's a two-way connection, not a one-way connection. And I think that's obviously the transition into college football of, hey, kids are different. No, they're not. They just want to know why. They want to have a connection with you. It's got to be on a personal level. And when they know you're holding them to a high standard in good moral, right, they obviously respect you. And I think that's really what it was. We had such a good relationship with all these guys. They worked their tails off with us. We were obviously excited to come here and understand we wouldn't have been able to get here without some of those guys as well. So,
In pieces fit with this team in this system.
well, what I would tell you is really, for instance, one game, I believe at Sam Houston, I believe we played 41 players on defense in one game. So you look at that, like I told you, we personnel match everything. So there's a role for somebody all the time. We're going to be in and out of different things. We're going to be in and out of different personnel groupings. So everybody's going to have a role in this team, whether it's on defense, whether it's on special teams, whether it's a small package. Those 5 plays that those people are getting, earning to play is still vital to our success. So
You guys head into a scrimmage on Saturday. What are some things you're looking forward to after what will be full 2 weeks of spring ball so far?
really, I just want the kids to play confident, play fast. They understand what we're trying to establish as an identity. Playing a confident, physical style, aggressive style of defense, and I think they're starting to believe that, and they're starting to obviously get more and more comfortable in the system. So we're looking forward to them kind of just cutting it loose, right? Cut out the thinking a little bit and be confident in what we're asking them to do.
All right, so how you got special teams and all that you have in the spring, how's it looks and so forth?
Yeah, well, the first thing is, when you have this many new players, is you want to find out exactly who are the guys and start establishing some depth charts, and that's really with special teams because you deal with the entire football team. It's like from that book, getting the right guys on the bus, the wrong guys off the bus, and then getting them in the right seats. And that's really what we're doing right now, identifying who needs to be in this position, and then start developing the fundamentals associated with that. And then lastly, we'll get to some scheme stuff at the end of spring. But right now, we're really focused on the fundamentals and identifying who needs to be playing what.
I mean, you do have to rebuild those kickoff and return teams and all that, but you also get some of the special teams pieces back as far as kickers,
That's right.
specialists, and things like that. Does that give you a good place to start?
Yeah, absolutely. The less amount of guys you have to replace, especially in those key roles, like Sawyer Evans. He's going on his 3rd year being the starting punter. Super dependable guy. Seems like he's some of those guys when they're at a place for 3 years now, it seems like they've been here forever, right? Because everything's so sped up. But it's great to have him back. Caden Yates, our snapper's got a lot of game experience back, so he's going to bring a lot to it. And then Callie and Guma. Callie was a field goal kicker last year, did a pretty solid job. He's got to continue to develop, which he is. And then Miguel Arenas, our young kicker, who's really coming on strong. So those 4 guys all have pretty good, 3 of the 4 have a lot of experience, and then really, like I said, the young guys is coming up strong.
Coach, looking at some of those return spots, and who have you kind of identified early on as possible candidates?
Yeah, well, Miles Coleman right now, he's a guy that's got a lot of experience. He's going to be a phenomenal punt returner for us. He's got the entire skill set that you want. He's a great decision maker. He's got courage, which is probably more important than anything when you're a punt returner. And he's got that elusiveness. It's hard to tackle him in a phone booth type deal. So the punt return position, it feels pretty good with him, and then we'll build some depth behind him as well. Because we always want 2 to 3 guys that you can put back there in a game for whatever reason. The guy breaks a shoelace, we got to put the next guy in. Kick return's a little bit more fluid right now. We got to find out. That's a totally different skill set. That can be a bigger kid. Doesn't have to be, but can be somebody who's going to hit that thing downhill, break some tackles, and give you some good starting field position after those kickoffs.
It's obviously really early in the spring, but has anybody else kind of caught your eye that could possibly to do kickoffs next year?
Doing kickoffs or returns?
Kickoff returns.
Really a lot of those running backs, they're going to definitely get an opportunity, and because they've got the strength and they're used to the vision. It's more than just being fast, because when you return a kickoff, you're kind of running into the smoke, and you hope that there's some fresh air on the other side, but there's not always fresh air on the other side. And the running back position typically is used to, they live in that world, they have patience. You don't just always want to hit the turbo button on every kick return. You got to have a little bit of pace about yourself, know how to control your speed. You don't just sprint in there 100 miles an hour. If you did, you just put the fastest guy on the team back there. But there's vision, there's pace, there's tempo, there's strength. There's a lot of things involved. So those running backs, they're going to definitely be kind of where we start when we work through this thing. But there's some wide receivers and defensive backs that got opportunity too.
How do you feel like Nguma has kind of improved since having a full year last year as a freshman?
Yeah, the biggest thing is confidence. When you're new and you're starting anything, especially kicking, where it's such a mental thing, you got to be able to work through the highs and the lows. And if you're not careful, you have a bad day, and it just steamrolls on you, and you feel like you're pushing a stone up the hill mentally if you're not careful. He's done a good job staying pretty even keel, because as a kicker, nobody's 100%. Nobody ever will be. Nobody has been. So you're going to have some missed kicks. But you got to be able to rebound from those and just keep building and correcting. He's worked extremely hard this offseason. So I really like the progress he's made. He's just got to keep moving along.
You brought in a couple transfers at the tight end position with Trey Williams and Carter Bond. What have you seen from them and the rest of the tight end room so far?
Yeah, we'll start with Trey. Trey came in and we kind of started him out, exposing him to a lot of the wide receiver stuff, really as a natural. So you learn that stuff. He's got a lot of tight end already under his belt. We're going to start exposing him to more stuff in the core at this point. But feel really good about him. He's going to keep coming along, keep progressing. He's got a good skill set. He's very athletic. He's got great hands. It means a lot to him. He's very intelligent. So we're excited about him. And then Connor Vaughn, he's got 3 years of playing football under his belt as well, just to trade us too. So it's a huge deal when you bring some of these transfers in, and they've got 3 good years, like those 2 guys did, of football already experience. They've just seen so much. When you've played meaningful snaps, you've obviously prepared enough for those coaches at your former school to believe in you enough to put you in the game. So that's kind of like your credit history, right? And then the next thing is you've been in the middle of a preparation of a game week where new things are added and deleted, so you understand about like game planning. And then you've played in the game where it's not always going to look exactly like you wanted it to look. So and you've been on the sideline of a game where a coach has pulled out a marker and drawn on their dry erase board and said, I know we practiced this all week, but I need you to do this now. They've been through all those scenarios. They're going on year 4. So you see that stuff come to light when you're in the middle of a practice. Maybe, I didn't cover that in the meeting. Well, he's like, Coach, I got you. I've been doing this for 3 years. You kind of get that response sometimes, or that feel, versus a guy who's new. And if you haven't covered everything, Murphy's Law will prove that it will happen that practice. Exactly what you didn't cover is what's going to surface. Okay? So,
You feel like those guys can be a bigger part of the passing attack this year at the tight ends that you got used to?
Yeah, we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready if called upon. That's really how the tight end has to live. You train. And the situation, how the offense starts to develop and morph and staying healthy is really important as well. You got to be available. So all those things kind of have to go right. But we're going to be ready. We're going to have our ability to contribute in the passing game if those opportunities present themselves at certain times. And you just got to earn the trust of everybody in the program. Tight ends sometimes kind of have to earn their right to play. And what I mean by that is if a coach is going to take a wide receiver off the field and bring a tight end in, there better not be a massive drop-off. It just needs to be a different type, bigger body, bigger catch radius, maybe not moving as fast, have some fluidity to it. Not every tight end is going to be faster or more physically developed than the guy trying to cover him, but they still have to be extremely effective on understanding how to get open. And I do believe all of our tight ends have great hands. And if they get the opportunity or when they get the opportunity, they're going to make the most of it.
You know, which kind of assist how Brandon Young Jr. has kind of built as a freshman last year to now.
Yeah, BJ has grown up so much. You know, when he came in, his body has changed so much. He looks different. You know, he really got his first live action against Memphis, you know, and it wasn't totally planned out that way. It was kind of leading up to the game. It was like, boom, you're going, you know, and it was an availability situation. And man, he went out there and he really did some really good things. Wasn't perfect, but it was good because we were all kind of like, okay, you know, this was a formidable opponent. He was a brand new guy. It was really his first action, and he stepped up. He's extremely intelligent, operates with really high level thinking, can connect concepts, which is big. Tight ends have to know the entire passing game. They got to know the entire running game and the entire pass protection game, and then all the motions and shifts involved. So you have to be very, you know, you got to think on your feet. He's got great hands. I mean, I like his ball skills. He's got a huge baseball background. He tracks the ball real well. Played basketball. I mean, he's gonna have a good season.
Well, so how are things going in spring practice? So on.
It's going good. You know, our tactic plan, getting around some new guys, seeing some new faces, and it's going pretty good. You know, taking things day by day, just to get 1% better, not looking too far ahead or anything like that. Just staying constant and focus on the thing we have to do.
How's the transition to Denton so far for you?
You know, I'm from Texas originally, so, you know, it's kind of the same. You know, it feels good being back home, a little bit closer to my family and things like that. So, you know, it's going good.
What kind of attracted you to North Texas to begin with?
Really just the things that they've done in the past and now, you know, just the plan, you know, kind of regulates and is on the same page with things I want to do with my football career and just trying to go win a championship. And, you know, some of their standards and the thing that they run their program off of. And really, like I said, being closer to my family, that's always a plus. So, you know, I can't complain about that.
They've been all over the place over the years.
Yeah.
Is that an experience that has helped you develop as a player and as a person?
Yeah, it definitely has, you know, being away from home, like really since high school. You know, I've learned a lot of things from each place that I've been, and being able to come back from my last year, my senior season, and getting back close to my family, that's always a good thing.
With all that experience, so what have been the biggest lessons you've been trying to pass along to your teammates today?
Really just taking things day by day, you know, being where your feet are, taking things slow. You know, with college football, like being a college athlete and a student, it's a lot of things going on, a lot of outside noise. So just coming in with a plan every day of what you want to get better at and the things you want to accomplish at, really writing down your goals, that's something that can take you a long way.
You're as a soup. You can. What are your own thoughts about Coach Haskins' defense and what you asked them you would say be that?
Really just bringing some experience into the safeties room. You know, I've played in multiple defenses, just about everyone. So being able to be behind a coach like Coach Cassidy and being able to learn from them every day and just take those little nuggets within the defense that he's teaching the guys and going from Coach Cassidy to me and being able to pour into the younger guys, you know, that's helping tremendously.
You guys have some position group guys in your group that have returned from last year. How do you feel like they've been able to kind of help you out, get adjusted to this system?
Really just, you know, some of the things that they've taken on from the past or past years. You know, this is a new defense for everybody, so we're kind of just working through things together. But things like the weight room and just some of the things on the schedule, they've been able to help me out. Like, look, this is here. This is what we do. This is how we do it. So, you know, it's kind of like a give or take. I'm helping them out with certain things. They're helping me out with certain things. So, like, we're just helping each other every day.
Yeah, Coach Cassidy is a leader of the program, so everybody's kind of getting out. And I mean, I'm sure you are too. When's your freshman?
God, man, that's a smart guy. That's my guy for sure. Like, everything he teaches us, it makes you want to listen. Like, you can tell he's really invested in his job, and he wants to be the best coach he can for us and the best defensive coordinator and things like that. So being able to learn from him and just pick up little things every day is making me a better football player and, most importantly, a better man.
What's he like? Just like that guy.
Man, he's a chill guy, not gonna be too high, not gonna be too low. He's gonna shoot you straight and tell you the things that you need to know in order for you to be a better person and a better football player.
You get into this defensive confidence as he comes in here, that he can help this team progress eventually.
Oh yeah, most definitely. One thing he always tells us that sits with me every day is don't be afraid to be the best. You know, like a lot of people are short-stepping or hesitant, but don't be afraid to go out there and make plays. You don't have to do the extra. Just do your job and the plays will come to you.
Yeah, it's a new system. I mean, what has your impression been of what he's installing over you guys to about?
You could tell he's gotten to this point in his career because of the things that he's teaching. So the defense is an aggressive style defense. It's plays out there to be made all over, and you could tell from his track record of why it's happening like that. So all we have to do is buy in and listen to the things that he's teaching us, and everything will work out.
Do you think you've taken on a little bit more of a leadership like role this spring, just despite being one of the newcomers yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, being able to come here, being a new guy, but obviously one of the oldest in the room, you know, that's a challenge in itself. But, you know, it's something that I can handle. I've been handling it since I've been here. And just being able to build relationships with the younger guys in the room is helping a lot.
Now, how do you kind of feel about the overall culture and the atmosphere here at UNT compared to some of the previous stops you've been at?
It's great. This is a family atmosphere, a strong culture. You know, they've built things from the ground up that they stand on everything that they say. So that's good. And that's definitely something I want to be a part of.
And do you have any personal or team goals that you kind of want to hit before the end of spring here?
Really just for the guys, just learn the defense, take everything day by day. Like he mentioned, we're all new, coaches included. So just building a strong relationship with those guys and develop the trust aspect, and everything else will fall into place.
All right, Brandon. So, guys, getting a little bit deeper in spring practice here. How's it?
So far, it's going pretty well. I think we're just striving to be the more offense in the country. You know, just use the screen to build. We'll keep going into the fall.
What part of your game have you kind of been focusing on improving during this spring?
Blocking, just dropping my weight, just being more explosive to the blocking.
Just looking back at your freshman year, just what were some of the biggest lessons you kind of learned both on and off the field?
Off the field, I deal with cramping, so I thought I kind of learned that. Man, it's my first time.
No, just what did you kind of learn both on and off the field?
On the field, learning how to use my reach. I have a long wingspan. Learn how to use that to my ability.
Your position group brings in 2 new people from the transfer portal. How do you feel like your experience, the minimal experience you did have last year, kind of helps with you helping them out in this offensive system?
Well, last year I had a great person in front of me, Oscar. Y'all know Oscar. I learned so much stuff from Oscar. You know, just taking what he told me and then just pour it into people that came this year.
You got a whole batch of new quarterbacks this year. How have those guys looked in the first breakers?
Looking pretty well. It's going to be a dogfight for the QB1. But say too much.
Yeah, you're just impressed with the talent that those guys are bringing in.
I feel like Reese is kind of just another challenge. But he's just got more experience. He brings more experience to the room. Mm-hmm. He's going to definitely help the Drew, Chris, Jimerson, like the young guys.
What have you to worry about some of the numbers as well, and your estimate rank to Jimerson so far?
That's very talented, Chris. Dual threat, throw the ball, run the ball. Drew, seeing Drew's process from when he first got here to now, crazy.
Have you noticed any major difference in your confidence or your comfort level out there from last straight to now?
Way more comfortable, like way more just knowing the plays. It's not nothing new. Just really now just helping Connor, the new tight end, just learn plays and all that stuff.
And do you have any personal or team goals that kind of want to hit before the end of spring here?
Not really no goal, just build to be another one offense and cutting in the fall.
Play is it?
Thank you, back.
Man. Yeah, just compare. You got choosing you watch. Reserves off. Next test. That's it.
Watch this.